I have a brief update on Amos Yee. If you don't know who Amos Yee is, he was a Singaporean pedophile who briefly led a pro-pedophilia movement. He was kicked out of his house that he rented because he rented like a room in a house. And when he got doxxed, they immediately evicted him. And then he was actually sentenced to jail for, I believe, soliciting sex from a minor, unsurprisingly. He was in jail. And then as he was to be released, he was immediately taken into custody by ICE to await deportation. Or to be tried for visa revocation or something. His visa was revoked. He is still in ICE custody, but they are going to deport him to Singapore now. And he actually faces more jail time upon arrival in Singapore because he dodged the draft. He moved to the United States without registering for the draft in Singapore, which is a imprisonable offense. And he actually moved to the United States under a human rights visa, I want to say, because he had written something about the Singaporean government that is a imprisonable offense as well, and he was being prosecuted for that. So he might go to jail for speech-related crimes, but I think the time has run out on that. But there is no time limit on the draft dodging, so he might be deported and then immediately go to Singaporean jail for draft dodging as well. So that's what Amos Yee from Cell Block 3 is up to today. He's awaiting deportation. Wish I had a video or something. Oh God, I don't want to play a child debate. Does he still have a channel up? How does this have 40,000 subscribers? Oh, he watches anime. Are you surprised? Oh, this is it. This is the video that got him into trouble. Lee Kuan Yew is finally dead. So he made a video talking about a political entity that died, and they took offense with that. Stebbins, who is suing us in West Virginia in a case that hasn't moved in like 3 years at this point, has filed a new lawsuit against specific Kiwi Farms users, but then also Walmart in Arkansas. Now, I can think of nothing that would go worse than filing against Walmart in Arkansas, but he has done so. And what he's doing is alleging that those 3 anonymous Kiwi Farms users are agents of Walmart, because one of them said they work at Walmart. So therefore, Walmart is responsible for an anonymous Kiwi Farms user's post. So he's suing Walmart and them. In this, he alleges that he has Asperger's syndrome twice. They allege that the post on the Kiwi Farms got him fired. And I just want to read the really funny part here. This is paragraph 229, where he asked the court for relief. He says that I've been wronged in the previous 228 paragraphs as described, and under those statutes, I am seeking relief. And then in paragraph 229, he finally tells the court what relief he's actually seeking. He says, therefore, I respectfully ask the court to consider going completely nuclear and award absolutely massive punitive damages, possibly 7-figure or even 8-figure punitive damages, in order to properly teach the defendants a lesson about making up such horrible lies about people. In paragraph 220, he actually says, for the defamation, I ask that he consider going absolutely buck wild with punitive damages. I ask for this not because I want to be a millionaire for its own sake, but because the defendants truly need to be taught a lesson for spreading such horrible lies about people, as the Supreme Court once famously wrote. And then he asked for $1 million outright for public humiliation, emotional turmoil, and general loss of reputation. So he has gone to the courts of Arkansas, and he has asked the courts of Arkansas to consider detonating a thermonuclear device under Walmart and give him millions of dollars. I don't think he will prevail. Actually, let me check. Is this filed in Walmart? Or I guess Arkansas is basically just Walmart. It's not too inaccurate to say that, huh? Downloading it now. It is in Benton County, Arkansas. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy, you're gonna win that lawsuit against Walmart for sure. They're already priming the charge. Benton County's already got that charge primed. They're gonna go buck wild on Walmart. Don't you worry. They might actually throw him in jail for this. They might hold him in. This might finally be what does Stebbins in. He's gonna sue Walmart in Benton County, Arkansas, and they're just like, enough. We're throwing you in the pit, and we're throwing you in the oubliette, and we're going to forget that you ever existed, and nobody will ever hear from him ever again. He's going in the Walmart dungeon, and they're throwing the key away. Death by shopping cart. You will put. It's like, we're gonna take you to the world's largest Walmart, and you're gonna walk around pushing carts until you drop dead from exhaustion and get ran over by a fat person in a Scooty Puff. That is your sentence for this complaint. No, he's suing me somewhere else, so that's why he didn't sue me. But he's trying to sue Kiwi Farms users still, but that's not going to happen. Similarly, in the Greer side of things, the Greer situation is not going well for Greer. Last stream, I mentioned that he had tried to basically extort from his prior employer $20,000 and then $200,000 of wrongful termination settlement funds, alleging that under the Americans with Disabilities Act, he had been unlawfully discriminated against by the company and was seeking, as I said, $20,000, and then when they agreed to that, $200,000 of settlement funds. However, the situation has gotten even crazier since, if you can believe that. Aforementioned Jelly Hiroshimi fan, Useful Mistake, pruned through some public records and discovered that we had two different things that we completely missed somehow, because Greer's portfolio of legal extravagance is so broad that it's actually impossible to fully conceptualize this. He has been evicted twice in the duration of this case that nobody has found before. So he is a serial non-rent payer. And there are emails where he is literally telling the court in his eviction case that they just need to give him a second because he's totally going to have cash right then. And then when he's talking to his former employer and extorting them for money, he's basically adding up all of his expenses, like for the court in Utah with my case, and then his expenses for rent and all the shit he needs. And he's like, oh, fuck, $20,000 isn't even enough for what I need. So he's asking them for money and telling the court on the other side, no, don't worry. I'm extorting these guys in Nevada for cash right now with the ADA Act. Give me a second. I'm working on it. So we now have a complete timeline of how he's bold-faced lying to the courts in multiple situations, in multiple jurisdictions, in multiple kinds of courts. And to his former employers to try and better extort them. So I just want to let you know that the cost of enabling Social Security is that you have people like Russell Greer and Anthony Stebbins who do literally nothing but cost people time, money, effort, and energy. And in a civilized society, the courts would not even hear them out. The ADA wouldn't even exist. And people would just punch these freaks in the fucking face when they spoke up against them because they're just degenerate troglodytes who don't deserve to exist. They get free money to do nothing. They get free money to act as a negative drain on society at all times. They will never get better. They will never contribute. They will never add back to the pot that they take from. They just drain and drain and drain and drain. And that's why we pay taxes. That's why a third of your income disappears every day, because you have to pay for Anthony Stebbins and Russell Greer to be blights on society.